I'm Debbie, and thank you for joining me here for Wellness Wednesday again. Now, I'm going to talk a wee bit today about body dysmorphia, and I think it's a really good thing to go over because a lot of us in this group, all of us in this group, we've lost limbs and then we've lost part of our body, and it can be like a grieving process because you've lost that part of your body that you were born with. I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to think, feel, behave about it in a sense. What I'm going to do though is go over my wee life story with you, and I'm going to probably tell you things that only a few people know. So I'm going to take a deep breath as I do it. Again, it's not a video for a sympathy vote or anything. I just need to inspire you to be the very best that you can, because you can do it. Because remember, you've got that one thing about you, and that is strength. Even though you don't think you've got it, it is there. I promise you it's there. Now, body dysmorphia, it's a condition where you are not happy with a certain part of your body. Oh, sorry, there's a wee message. You're not happy, with a certain part of you. Every time you're looking at mirror, that thing about you is different. And with us in this group, that thing is missing, in a sense. Again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to think, feel or behave about it. I'm just giving you what it was like for me, and hopefully a lot of people, if you can relate to it, you can get something out of this video. So, I was born with a missing right arm and right leg. I have an identical twin sister, and there was no right or wrong reason for it. She has for both arms and both legs, and she was born perfectly normal, and I was born with this slight disability. And when I was born, my stump, it had below my knee, but the stump was twisted around my body. So when I was only 2, I had an operation straight away where they went into the back of it, they broke it and they straightened it out. When I was 4, I think it was, I had 3 toes on the end of that stump, but a big bulbous bit at the end of it. And the toes got amputated. I can still remember that to this day. I can still remember going into the theatre, and of course, I'm nearly 48, so it was a while ago now, and I can remember going in and they had a projector, and it was Mickey Mouse that was playing on the ceiling, and I can remember that vividly. Then I can remember going to the Victoria in Glasgow to get the stitches removed, and I can remember again that they'd left the stitches in too long, and they were shouting that some scissors weren't strong and sharp enough. They had to use different ones with different colours. My dad was lying over the top of me, my mum was sitting outside and they had fainting, and the cubicles were all just like curtains to put us, block off all the people next to us. I can remember that because it stuck in my head, because it was a fear. It became a fear in a sense. I was scared. I was only 4. Then I went on. I've had people say to me, how can you miss it when you've not had it? And yeah, that is true. I was born like this, so I didn't miss something that I didn't have. But about in December 99, I'm trying to think of these dates here, in December 99, I had to go and get a revision. The bottom half of my stump kept blistering if I was on it all day. Now, I'm a really active person, and it kept blistering. So they decided to take that bulbous bit away. So when I woke up in the hospital and I didn't have that, people again thought it wouldn't affect me, but it did, because that was mine and that was part of me. And I used to be able to get up in the middle of the night and go to the toilet without having to put my limb on. I could wait there at the end of that bulbous part, and I couldn't do that anymore. And I'm not fixated on that part, which is strange, but it's not really. And I fixated on the part that I couldn't get up during the night and go to the toilet without putting my limb on, and that began to get me really, really, really down. So then 5 years ago, I caught my real leg in a shopping trolley, when I was walking about Morrison's with my grandson in the shopping trolley. And my foot caught on it, it went on the wheel turned around and it shook my foot completely around with it. I smashed the bones in my foot, the bones in my toes, my foot was facing the other way. I had to go into hospital, and I was kept in hospital for 3 weeks. And then that's when my life started to crumble. I had my sister when I was younger, and I had her to, and she inspired me. I wanted to do everything that she done. I didn't feel different. I maybe looked different, but I didn't feel different in a sense at that point in my life. But when I broke these 5 bones in my real leg, I had to get this building frame, it's an external fixator, screwed onto my leg. They were going to remove the foot, it was that bad, but obviously I've got just the one leg that they fought hard to keep it. It has set in the wrong position, but it's set the best that it possibly could be, and the NHS did an absolutely wonderful job on it. But my life crumbled after that. I had to depend on people to help me, which I didn't like, because I didn't like asking for help. And I couldn't go in a wheelchair with just having the one hand to be able to wheel myself about. I went in circles because I couldn't go anywhere. I had to get ramps built about the house. I had to sleep in a bed in the living room because I couldn't manage upstairs. I had to get somebody to help take me to the shower, take me to the toilet, cook me something. I just lost the ability to do anything, and I lost the ability in me as well. I forgot who I was for a while. I'm taking a big breath at this because I'm actually on here and I want to be so honest with you. And my marriage broke up at that point as well. I was 29 years in the same relationship. My ex was quite abusive mentally and verbally. Mentally and physically. And any time that we had a big argument, and that's what happens in relationships, that is just the norm, he made a fool of the way I was. So even though I thought I was dealing with it at that point, these things were going through my head, I was getting told nobody else would want you the way you are, look at you, I'm not even going to go into some of the things that were said. So when I was lying in a bed in my living room because I couldn't manage upstairs and I couldn't manage to do things myself and I couldn't manage to do this, that, the next thing, I started to believe all that. I started to believe that everything that was getting said to me was the complete truth. Who would want me? Should I walk out in this relationship? Should I do this? But I had to take myself away from that environment. But then I started to get addicted to prescription drugs. So I was on all the good stuff. Tramadol, pregabalin, the strong things, a lot more than that. So I started taking them into excess in a sense, too many. But it was clouding my judgment. It made me not think, and that was the part that, it was the best for me, because if I didn't think, I didn't feel. And if I didn't feel, I couldn't hurt myself and I couldn't be unhappy. So, yes, my marriage ended. I walked away from this big, beautiful house and went to a wee flat, which I actually love now. And I changed my environment. And that helped me a lot. But it didn't fix the way I felt, because I had taught myself these behaviours now. Everything went through my head. Who's going to want me? Look at me. I've only got one arm and one leg. What's going to happen with me in life? Am I going to be on my own all the time? And I started to get really, really low and really, really depressed about it. And I just wanted fixed, in a sense. I didn't want to hurt anymore. And I think that was why I went down the route of taking all these prescription drugs. And I did reach out to my GP and I got help. And I started to talk about it more. But I still had those feelings, I worked with the NHS, and all the younger girls that I worked with, were like, come on, you need to go on, match.com, you need to find and meet somebody, and you need to do this and you need to do that. And I gave in and I went on it. And it was so unbelievable. Say you were talking to maybe about 6 people or something, and then, you were doing a conversation, and then it was coming to let's meet for coffee, and how it goes if you've ever been on any of these sites. And then when I explained it just had one arm and one leg, I learned the term ghosted, because I just disappeared from the screen. I didn't actually know what the term ghosted meant. It was my daughter that told me, I was like, why is this happening? I'm talking to people, and the minute I mentioned to them that I was different, now I could look at that now and say, and take that pity party for myself and say, that why should I give up? Why, or I am giving up, because anytime I try to do something, people are fixated on my disability. But then I was being fixated on it as well. And the way I look at that now is, because there's always a million different ways to look at things, do I want to be with somebody that's so shallow? So really they were doing me a favour. God forbid the person in the poor girl that actually gets stuck with somebody like that. Because inside, people have got to realise we are all exactly the same. This what we've got on the outside is just a shell. It doesn't make you you. Inside makes you you. And I promise you, you've got that thing that will get you places in life, and that is strength and determination. You can never get caught up in what you think you are. You need to look at yourself factually and see who you actually are. Is it going to be hard at times? Yeah, absolutely. But it's hard for everybody, you know, whether you've got... I actually stopped saying that I had a disability, and I now say I have a physical limitation, because that's what I feel it is, and that's how I'm going to go, and that's how I'm going to roll with it. I have a physical limitation. I then went, and it's how I started getting into all this anxiety stuff and everything, because I did suffer from bad anxiety, because even though I had changed my environment, and that did help in a sense, it didn't fix who I thought I was. I didn't like who I was looking at in the mirror. I hated it in the summer, and I became very fixated as well on the fact when you put your leg on and, you know, it started to sweat because of the heat, you know, and I kept looking for the pity party, looking for that pity party, and that's not who I was, but I was making myself into this person. You know, people look at me now and will say, you know, you're inspirational and you were, but for a year I wasn't. A year I put my youngest daughter through hell, and I'm not proud of it, and I'm not, you know, but we've learned a lot from it. And one of the biggest things I would say to you is, do not be fixated on the past, because we can't, in a sense, change the past, and we can't predict that future. Look at what's happening to us round about us now. We can't predict the future. Get up every day and give that day everything that you've got. And if it's only 1%, give it 1%, but get up the next day and give it 2. And that's how I want you to roll now, in a sense. Every day like a new day, and keep giving yourself that strength, that push, that determination to get where you want to be in life, because you can do it. I promise you can do it if you just believe in yourself. You need to accept yourself for the way that you are now. You know, it is a grieving process. Give yourself time. Don't be hard on yourself. But remember, when you make that achievement, and even if it's the smallest achievement, you know, give yourself a pat in the back. We don't do that enough. We do not pat ourselves in the back enough, and we should do it. There's this big community that we're in at the moment. Speak to people in it, reach out. Everybody needs a helping hand in life now and again, and it doesn't mean it's because of the way you are, it's just because of the way you are feeling. This is a shell. This is a shell. You know, you're not going to wake up in the morning, all of a sudden that limb's going to be there. It's going to magically appear again. It's not going to happen. I think when you can accept that, you can move on a lot in life. Don't look at other people's, you know, journeys in a sense, unless it's going to be something that's going to inspire you to be better for you. Because we all go at a different pace in life. Every single one of us goes at a different pace, and every single one of us, we all do things differently, don't we? Do things the way you feel you want to do things. Look at your environment. If you have to change that environment, or that damaging relationship you're in, or friendship, or whatever it is, and you have to take a step back, do it. You know, if you have to be that person that has to say no to things, in fact, learn to say no. You have to do that as well. A good way to go for things as well is start taking part in things. You know, reach out to people, talk to people, take part in things that are going to, you know, help your physicality. You know, exercise, swimming, gardening, whatever it is. Get out there and do it. Do not get locked in a house all day long. What I used to do was stay in my bed. 4 days a week I would stay in my bed. I became one of those pyjama mums, and I used to always say, imagine mothers going to drop their kids off in their pyjamas. I became pyjama mum. I used to take my daughter to school, come back, go back to my bed, and I could sleep. And I would sleep all day, set an alarm, go back, pick her up. She would come back in. I would give her money to get Chinese, a pizza, a chippy, whatever it was for her dinner, and then I would go back to bed again. And she was 15, and I had just left a relationship with her dad. She needed me, and I wasn't there for her, because I was too wrapped up in myself. I was too wrapped up in feeling sorry for myself. That doesn't get you anywhere. It gets you nowhere in life, okay? You need to give yourself that push that I know you can do. We have a strength like no other. We have a group here like no other. And we're all here to help each other. And I think the good thing about this group is we're all in the same place. Every single one of us is in the same place in life. Use it as a grieving process, but don't be fixated on it, because if you do, you're just, like we've spoke about in other wee sessions, you're teaching your subconscious just to hold on to that. I used to go on holiday and I used to think, everybody's staring at me, you know, look at everybody, they're just looking at me, they're looking in that direction, what they're thinking about, what they're feeling about me. But then I began to watch for people staring at me, and of course if you're watching for somebody staring at you, you're going to find somebody staring at you. And the biggest thing for that was just stop watching, you know. I, in a sense, I don't care what anybody thinks of me. I care what I think of me. And I'm putting every single bit of energy, my hand on my heart, say that. I put every bit of energy into me and into making me the best that I possibly can be. I started learning all about anxiety and all these neuro-linguistic programming things, because they were the things that changed my life. They were the things that, there's lots of different things that can be done with it, took away that feeling from me in a sense and gave me that urge to keep going in life. Get up and give it, get up and give it, get up and give it, and keep going and keep going and keep going. Add that 1%, add another 2%, add another 3%, and I kept going that way. So no, life hasn't always been a bed of roses, and it's not a bed of roses for everybody. We've all got our crosses to bear, you know, but feeling that sense that, you know, you can't go out because you think people are looking at you, you can't go out because you think people are talking about you, because what happens then is, you know, if somebody looks at you, and they could be looking past you, or they could be looking at what you're wearing and like what you're wearing, or they just could be looking, we then get it into our head and we then teach the subconscious these behaviours that when somebody's looking at us, they're looking at us because of the way we are. And you know, 80% of the time, that's probably not true. But then what happens when they look away, you're still left with that feeling. And that feeling could be with you the full day. And that's the feeling that could cause you not to get up and go at it again the next day, because you're too fixated on that hurt that you got. And hurt's a really strong emotion, along with fear, you know, worry, stress, strain. All these are negative emotions in there, and that's what we need to change. That's what we need to go at, and they can change, and they will change, and they will go, not because we want them to, but because we make them to. You have to make yourself do that. You have to make yourself change. You know, I'm here. I have been through it, and you know, I haven't always been this strong individual in life. I think we look at life now and we realise that, you know, we get one shot at it, one shot. And I think the way the environment is at the moment, it's made a lot of us realise that. I don't want to, in a sense, I don't know, and this may sound morbid, get out and to get hit by a bus tomorrow and say I passed away. I don't want my family being left with the sad memories of me. And if that had happened to me that year, that I was really down and low, that's what I would have left them with. I want them to have good, happy memories of me, because memories last, you know. People go on in life and they move on in life and they will heal, but the memories will never fade. So I'm not giving somebody that sad memory. Yeah, I have down days, of course I have down days, but I'm just the same as everybody else, you know. People with two arms and two legs, they have down days as well. I used to always think as well, though, that I had to prove myself to everybody out there, you know. So I went in at it 150%, but I left myself absolutely shattered trying to live that life, getting up at 6 in the morning or 5 in the morning, walking the dog, doing the previous night's dishes, getting the kids packed lunch ready, getting my ex's packed lunch ready, you know, going out a day to work, coming back, cutting the grass, doing the housework, doing the decorating. I did everything because I thought I had to prove myself, and the only person I've got to prove myself to is me, because I'm the most important person in my life. And I'm not saying that in a big-headed view, in the sense, I'm saying it in a view that, you know, you really are the most important person in your life. Look at yourself that way, you know. Give yourself time to recover from this, but you will recover from it. This isn't going to stay here, like these feelings forever. If you make them and you get up and you put those shoulders back, that head up straight, and you face that day head on, and you have to accept yourself for the way you are now. You know, again, you're not going to get up tomorrow and you're going to be any different, and that might sound brutal of me saying that, but I just want to be 100% honest with you. If I had somebody that, you know, just kind of said to me, well, you're not going to change, I think I would have, in that year, leaped on a lot further. You know, and we do look at people and think, well, they don't know how we feel. You know, we look at family members or friends or whoever it is, and we're talking to them and they're trying to give us this, you know, they're trying to big us up in a sense, and they're trying to make us feel good. But we always think inside, well, they don't know how I feel. You're right, they don't know how you feel. You know, and some people just don't know what to say, you know, to us in a sense. And we've been in that position before, when you meet somebody that's lost a loved one, or, you know, what do you say to them to make them feel better? That is just the same with somebody to you. What do they say to you to make you feel better when you can't make yourself feel better? You have to make that change, and you can make that change. You don't need to be stuck in this place forever. You know, some days are harder than others, and again, it's a natural human reaction. You know, I would feel more worried about you if you didn't have these reactions. You know, that's normal. It's completely normal. You are a human, but with being a human, you've got this thing up here called a mind, and that mind can take you anywhere that you want it to take you. Don't fixate on the things that you can't do now. Too much we fixate on, well, I can't do this and I can't do that. Why not look at the things that you can do? Write down a list of things that you want to give a go. You know, try it. If it doesn't work, try it again. If it doesn't work, try it again. If it doesn't work, stop, look at another thing to do and go on with something else. We need you to keep pushing, we need you to keep going, we need you to get up, we need you to be active, and we need you to get that mind working as well. The more you make the mind work, the more it craves more. And you make it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. You get up every day and you give and you give and you give and you give, and you don't stop giving. You know, if you need to reach out, reach out. I can't sit here and tell you, you know, do this, do that, do the next thing. I need you to want to do it. I just thought I would put this on because, no, I've not always been a strong person. I had a time of it as well where I fixated on my limitations in life, not what I could do and what I could still do. And, you know, I ended up going and I worked a lot with kids that had anxiety, and I was getting a lot of kids that were coming in whose parents actually knew me, or whose parents, you know, friends, they were passing friends' kids on and stuff like that, because I was such a strong character. And it was I was getting a lot of kids in that were getting bullied because they too felt different. They felt different if they wore glasses, they felt different if they're that wee bit heavier, you know, they felt different if they're that wee bit thinner, they felt different with the colour of the skin, their sexuality, their race or creed, whatever it was, and they felt different with. And I got to empower them to be the very, very best version of them. And I know I can do that so much better because of the way I am, because they are coming in and they're seeing me, you know, sitting there doing this really great job and working with people with anxiety and stuff, and they see me and being able to empower them, because they look at me and think, well, if she can do it, I can certainly do it. So if somebody was to say to me, I'm going to zap that arm and leg on you, can wake up tomorrow, there's going to be, you know, no recovery period or this, that and the next thing, and we're going to give you that opportunity to be like everybody else, I don't want it, because I'm happy, you see, with the way I am now, and it's helping me to help others. So I look at it as I was given it for a reason, because remember, you can, hand on my heart, deal with this if you want to. You just have to put in a fight, and it might be the biggest fight you've ever had to put in your life so far, but you can do it. You're strong. Just be focused and determined and able. Do other activities, you know, take your mind off it. Stop looking in the mirror and stop thinking, I wish I was different, because you're not. You are the way you are at the moment. Be proud of it. And I know sometimes when we, you know, when I got the bulbous bit, the revision done, then my stumble had to get a new leg, and I went through a couple of legs before I got the one that was really the right one for me, and that can be a wee bit, you know, distressing in a sense, because you just want to be up and walking, and you just want to do this, that and the other, and you just want to prove to yourself that you can do it. It takes time. Stop being hard on yourself. Please stop being hard on yourself. Accept you for who you are. You are amazing, you're strong, you're determined, you're motivated. Sometimes we just have to dig deep to pull that all out, and you can pull it all out. So you see, I wasn't always a strong, focused person. I had a year in my life, you know, I had psychiatric care, I had get put on weekly prescriptions because I was scared that I was going to do something, and those thoughts were there. And when you get those damaging thoughts, you know, it is hard to pull yourself out of that, but it can be done. But you have to put a focus on something else. You know, if you are putting that full focus onto you, make it strong positive thoughts that you're giving yourself, and you know, strong positive thoughts and words, and really, really effective. But the biggest thing out of that is actions. You need to take actions on these strong things that you're telling yourself. You're beautiful, you're brave, you're strong, you're able, you're determined, you're motivated to do this. Dig deep, get it out, you know, and live your life that the way you want it to be. I've knocked my teeth in today. I don't think, you know, you've one life, you don't get a rerun. How many times have we sat with somebody, you know, that's ready to pass away in this life? I don't know what, you know, it's suffering from an illness, or that, you know, you're with them, and have we heard people saying, I wish I'd done things different. I wish I'd been a better husband, a better wife, a better mum, a better dad, a better sister, a better friend. You know, I just wish I had given life a whole lot more. Give it a whole lot more now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Start right now. There's no point in saying I'm going to do it tomorrow, I'll start tomorrow. You know, it's like that diet, isn't it? I'm going to do it tomorrow. No, you're not. If you keep saying that in your head, actually just do it today. Get up, take stock of who you are. Write down what you want to do in life and act upon it. The actions are the most strongest part about you. And I promise you, you know, happiness by change, not by chance. You know, these emotions can go, not because we want them to go, because we make them go. So please, if you know, if you even need to ask somebody, or just somebody to talk to, somebody that's been through it, you know, somebody that's had those limiting beliefs exactly like yourself, reach out, message Nikki, message myself, you know, message Leslie, and we can get you that help, and you know, we can talk to you, and we can just see where we can go with you. So enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll talk next week.